What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 42 of the Nightly Nonsense Podcast. I'm back, your host, Adam. I'm here with Dave and Chris. How we doing, boys?
Glad to have you back.
Oh my gosh.
It's a pleasure to be back.
I'm so happy you're here. I'm just so happy you're here. Makes me happy.
Dude,
honestly.
obviously, honeymoon, amazing, but 2 weeks is a long time to be away.
Yeah, how did that feel?
Yes and no.
I mean, like, getting back and then
Yes.
having to go to work obviously sucks, but like just being back in like my own bed,
Yeah.
my
yeah,
house,
that's true.
my dog, just getting back into the routine of things.
Yeah, what was it like to not see the dog for 2 weeks?
It was a struggle. Missed the old Murphys. The cat I could see for never again for the rest of my life and be fine. But
That's a sad thing to say, but I mean, do
true.
you go 2 weeks at some points and not see the cat already?
No.
Really?
If someone who has never met Skylar before stayed at our house for 2 weeks, I would probably never see her for 2 weeks.
Uh-huh.
But no, she likes Kristen and I, so she comes out, but
Good point. I've seen her twice, I think.
it's a rare occurrence.
I mean, the fact that I lived with you for a year and Kristen was around a lot, obviously, and obviously Kristen lived elsewhere, but she was around a lot and I talked to her a lot. And during that whole year, I had no idea that you guys had a cat or that she had a cat. Is crazy to me.
That was always one of my favorite comments because a lot of people didn't know we had a cat. And then like when people came to our house for the first time and they see her litter box, they're like, "Why do you have a litter box?" I'm like, "For me to pee in? What do you mean?" Like, just because we like the way it smells.
I think that was me. Like, I think I came over one time. I'm like, "Why is there a litter box in your house?" And you're like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "You have a cat? When did you get a cat?" And you're like, "We've had a cat." And I was like, "You're like my best friend, and I didn't know you had a cat."
It's Kristen's cat.
Like, how long has that thing been around?
That's not my cat. That's Kristen's cat.
Oh, well, either way. Crazy. Anyway, we've got off topic. Tell us about Italy. I want to hear about
Ciao
Italy.
Bella. Grazzie.
Dude, it was fantastic.
Favorite part?
Favorite part, I would probably say the wine day in Florence.
Yep.
Or the boat day in the Amalfi Coast.
Ooh. Ooh.
Both incredible.
Yes.
I love a boat day. I'm a sucker for a boat day.
Yeah.
So that was great. Water was like the bluest water I've ever seen, but not like clear blue. Like it was literally like swimming in like navy blue water. It was very interesting.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Like just dark blue.
Deep.
Some of it, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Very
I
nice.
also like I can't float in like the ocean in like Florida. Like if I try and like float on my back, my feet sink. But the
'Cause of
Mediterranean,
salinity?
the Mediterranean is so much saltier that I was just laying there for days, just float
floating.
forever.
That's
Yeah.
sweet.
I've never really had that problem. I don't know why.
But no, so first we did the Amalfi Coast, which we stayed in. It was like a bed and breakfast that was really like built into the side of a mountain. So like our view was incredible there. But it was the only annoying thing with that hotel is they did have a shuttle, but it wasn't like we could call them and they'd pick us up. Like it only ran at certain times. So we were either like 3 hours early into town or like we're rushing to get back for like our get ready. And
There's
then
no like Ubers or anything?
So into the Amalfi Coast, it is just one road, that like 2-lane road. So there's like no taxis.
Interesting.
They did have like obviously buses that were running pretty frequently, but it took us till like the last day of us in the Amalfi Coast to figure out like the bus system.
Yeah. What about little things?
So they had we could rent a moped, but how confidently these people drove on this road, because it was like One side rocks, the other side just falling off into the ocean.
Yeah.
You have like buses, tour buses, cars, mopeds. Like mopeds are flying around buses around blind turns, and then cars are just like speeding and swerving. Like when you're on the bus, like I could literally reach my hand out the window and like high five the driver on the other lane. That's how close they were getting to each other.
Mopeds have 2 wheels, right?
Yes.
Yeah, no
but
way. No chance.
It would have stressed me out incredibly to be on one of those things.
Yeah, no way. I can't even ride a bike, much less a moped. Get me out of here.
And then what probably favorite restaurant in the Amalfi Coast, the place we went, one of the waiters was just an incredible singer, and just randomly he would break out into opera. And
very nice.
It was unbelievable. Then we went to Rome. Rome, I think, was Rome was my least favorite of the 3.
Interesting.
Mainly,
Rome hater.
Mainly just because, like, I think we were there for one day too long. Because, like, after you see all of the big things, like, it's just incredibly crowded. You're just walking around in mobs of people. It's incredibly hot.
That's kind of what I've heard about the pyramids. It's like once you've seen it, you're like, all right, that's pretty freaking cool, and then you're
of the pyramids,
still there.
Speaking of the pyramids, no, how are the pyramids built? Anyway, keep going. Sorry,
but no, like we got there, I think at like 3 p.m, and we're like, we're not just gonna sit in our hotel, so we literally just started walking around, like saw the Trevi Fountain, saw the Spanish Steps, and then like our last day in Rome, we had our Colosseum and Vatican City tour. So it was like we literally walked all of Rome in half a day, except for the 2 things that we still had left to see. So like that next day, we were just like, what do we do? Just do it all again?
One more time. One more time.
Exactly.
And encore.
Like, it's just the city we stayed in Amalfi was smaller and a lot more local people, and Rome was just absolutely flooded with tourists. Still cool though. Vatican City was not overrated. It just sucked because like all we really cared to see was ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. And you have to follow like the entire museum. Like you can't just go straight there. And it was like a 30-minute walk to get there. And then they're like yelling at everyone to put your phones away, no pictures. You're just kind of standing there looking at it, and then you just leave.
Did you see the Pope?
Did not see the Pope. I kept asking Kristen if he would baptize me. Like if we could just find him and get a quick baptism, but she said probably wouldn't work.
You gotta get dunked.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Does the Pope baptize just common folk?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
But you're not. He's just got an emergency squirt gun for baptism.
That's one of my favorite things I still see on Instagram from time to time. It's like, this was the wildest part of COVID, and it was just like priests with water guns, just like squirting babies.
Yeah.
Wait, that happened?
Yeah.
No, I did not know about that.
I don't believe that. Are you serious?
I swear to God, I did not know about that.
No. They were spraying people with holy water? That seems a little bit off the books. I don't think Jesus and God approve. That is not.
Well, no, because they used to have those things where they'd friggin' whip it, right?
Look at that priest. Look at that. Look at that. No way. No way.
He turns it sideways.
That's crazy.
But no, then after Rome, Florence was incredible. I just felt like I was in Assassin's Creed.
Everybody that I've talked to that goes to Italy loves Florence. It's
because of the machines.
Florence and the Machine. I got it. That was a good joke.
Our hotel was like slightly outside of the city, and like it was easily the nicest hotel we've stayed at. Like it had a pool, just really cool grounds. So like when we got there, we felt fine just sitting at the hotel, hanging out by the pool, as opposed to in Rome, like we would have just been like sitting on our bed in our hotel room, which makes it seem like a waste. And then it's just smaller. Like Florence isn't nearly as big as Rome, so like our walk around day where we saw everything, the next day we were doing like wineries So we really only had the one day to walk around. So it didn't feel like we caught everything. Be like, all right, now what do we do?
Yeah.
Then obviously all of the food was incredible. The restaurant we were most excited about, we were like 30 minutes into our dinner and then the power went out on the whole street.
Ooh.
And
From
we
what?
I have no idea. They don't even know. And then we sat there for like 2.5 hours and then the power eventually came back on, but they're like, we're not doing dinner. So we were able to luckily remake our reservation, went back on our last night, but I think
What'd you end up doing that night for dinner?
So because the power went out, but we were like, we're sticking around because, like I said, so many people recommended this place to us. We were just like sitting there, and then they were bringing us like cheese and crackers, like a bunch of the things that like they could serve us. And then he's like, the chef could do like a cold pasta if you guys would be fine, like if you guys just want to try that. And we are like, sure. So it was just like pasta, heirloom tomatoes, and like fresh mozzarella cheese, like drizzled in olive oil, and it was incredible.
Damn.
Even though it was just like the most basic pasta ever.
Yeah.
Couple free glasses of wine because we were just hanging out. We're talking with the server. So like this place is like incredibly popular. Like if you get into like Italy TikTok, so many food like travelers like you need to go here. And like the only other table that stayed the whole time was this family from Dubai. And they were like, nice. How did it get so popular? And our server was like, Will Smith was like the first celebrity to come in here. And then he went back to the US, told other celebrities that it was good. So then they started going there and then it just.
And then kind of took off.
Yeah. So he's like, he was like, Brad Pitt, I've served Leonardo DiCaprio, I've served Jennifer Aniston. Like he was naming
name drop after name
all
drop.
The big people, which I don't even know if he was telling the truth, to be fair, but they had pictures on the wall of all of them, so they've all been to that restaurant. Whether our waiter served them or not's a different story.
Yeah, but they had been there. That's all that really matters.
Yep.
So I know you texted me about some celebrities who were around when you were there, or at least within the time period that you were there. Yep. Who all was there? Will Levis was around.
Will Levis, when we were in the Amalfi Coast, ate at that restaurant that I was just saying, La Giostra.
Yeah.
And then
that actor was in Yellowstone and then Lost.
Yep, we were at the same restaurant as him, which he probably goes incredibly unnoticed.
Incredibly.
And then when we were in the Amalfi Coast, a Liverpool player was also in the Amalfi Coast, but I didn't find him.
The celebrities were out and about.
They were. And now, like, I've seen on Instagram, Alexandra Daddario's currently in Rome. I'm like,
whoa, disgusting.
Holy cow.
Gross. Where? I'll be right back.
Gross. Where? I'll be right. What did he just get? Did he just get?
He really needs that water.
He does. He needs that water. Wow. Did you at any point while in Amalfi Coast specifically, just because I feel like it gives vibes of this, feel like you were on the White Lotus?
I would say no, just because our hotel wasn't
like White Lotus-esque.
Yeah.
Was there any families that kind of seemed like Sydney Sweeney's family?
That takes place in Hawaii, White Lotus.
Hawaii.
Yeah, but similar vibe between the two.
No, because
seasons.
like I said, we were in more of one of the smaller towns on the Amalfi Coast. So like when we went into Positano, we just kind of walked around a little bit, but that's the day we did like a private beach club. So that would have been the place that we would have seen them, more cities like that.
Gotcha. Okay. Well,
but I have a couple questions for you guys here coming out of my vacation.
Sure.
Okay. Sure.
Listening to the pod last week, I heard you guys talking quite a bit about conversion. Are things more expensive in other countries, cheaper in other countries?
Yes.
So one of the conversions you guys didn't discuss, though, is what is the conversion of the vacation dollar value to the at-home dollar value? Like when you're on vacation, I feel like you're a lot more loose with the cash.
Of course, because it's vacation.
So like
sunk costs.
I bought a watch that if I saw that price here in the US, I would like laugh and turn the other direction. But in Italy, I was like, yeah.
What kind of watch was it?
A Longines.
A Longines.
Longines.
Beginner luxury category.
Very nice watch.
Beginner luxury category.
So what's your conversion
That's
of
what it's called.
vacation dollar to real dollar? Like for every $1 you're willing to spend at home, how much are you willing to spend on vacation?
I don't know how to convert it, but I'll tell you right now that on vacation I would drop. I mean, like I'm willing to drop like if I see something that's like $500 on vacation, like I'll do it versus at home, like I'm not gonna just drop $500 on something random any given day. And it's like
sometimes.
I mean, I've done it before. I've done it before, but like generally speaking, I don't. I mean,
so like I feel like an easy way to look at it is like
it could go for higher numbers too.
It's like our golf trips. Like a pro shop golf polo is much more expensive than me going to the Golf Galaxy and buying the same polo just without the golf course logo on it.
That's a perfect example. So
not really though. It depends. Like if you're getting the same brand, like if you go get a Peter Millar polo at a golf course, it's probably going to be usually right around $150, right?
Yeah.
A Peter Millar at Golf Galaxy is like 110 or $120.
I mean, yeah, still expensive, but I don't buy Peter Millar.
We're talking about a $30 difference.
I don't buy Peter Millar.
$30.
I don't buy Peter Millar at Golf Galaxy, but I do buy Peter Millar at the pro shop.
I think that's Adam's point. Exactly. Like if I'm going to Golf Galaxy, I'm buying like an Adidas shirt, but
I'm
at the pro shop, I'm buying the Peter Millar.
Pumas 2 for $75. Don't mind if I do wear Puma this week.
Yeah, well, it's because you want those nice ones with the course logos to last longer, and the quality does make a big difference.
Oh, for sure.
Exactly. So the golf pro shop, that's a perfect example too. Like the golf course. Like if I'm in St. Louis playing golf on a Saturday, like I'll drop $70, $60, $70, $80 to play a round of golf. But if I'm on vacation, then I'm dropping $350 for our on our golf.
That's
trip,
different,
right?
though. That's different.
Like it is different, but that's a perfect example.
I think what happens with me is it's like running where I'll start out really hot and be high on the hog, and then I'll realize I'm like behind the curve, and then I'll be like, oh shit, gotta slow it down for these last 3 days of the trip. Like
I do that too.
Way too hot and heavy.
Like day one of the trip, catch me in the.
I'm a millionaire.
Yeah. Day 5 of the trip, I'm like, yeah, I'm not buying that for $10.
$17 for sunscreen. What is this?
What's the cheapest thing you have in the pro shop?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I still need to leave here with something.
Yep, that's me on a vacation.
So then also, at least I've only been, Italy is the first country I've been to in Europe, so I don't know if all European countries are like this, but they like breakfast really isn't a thing. It's like coffee and pastries. And then like lunch, people kind of eat it, but not really.
Yeah.
Like when we were in Rome and Florence, there's a couple like sandwich places that you could tell got like famous on the internet because the lines are just like crazy and you can tell they're all Americans standing in line. But other than that, like lunch also not really a thing. And then people just feast at dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the classic, what's his name? I forget the actor, but he's like, for breakfast, we'll do something cool, like maybe one half cigarette, 2 half cigarette, and coffee. For lunch, then he goes, then we go to work for about 1/2 hour, 2/2 hour. Then we take a lunch. For lunch, we do something cool, like maybe a sausage. And then for dinner, we have 3-4 pizza pasta. Like, crush it with dinner.
It was like like 2 or 3 restaurants we went to, Chris and I, like appetizer, 2 entrees, 2 desserts, bottle of wine. They're like, that's it.
That's
like,
it.
Not asking like
that's all.
That's it. Is like, oh, do you want to order anything else? Like shaming us for like that's all we're getting. It's like that's a good amount of food.
And then. No, that's my kind of place though. I love big dinner and then nothing before that.
What's that called?
Huh?
What's that called? That style of eating where you just have dinner.
Intermittent fasting.
No, where you just have dinner. It's called
I have no idea. Intermittent fasting is what I thought you were going
OMAD.
for.
1 meal a day. OMAD. I think it's what it's called.
Oh, okay.
See, I'm someone
Interesting.
that I've developed into a person that I need to have some kind of breakfast.
Little brekkie. I love a little brekkie.
Well, I'm on that now,
And then
but I haven't always been on that.
I also love a good lunch. And
I'm
I'm also like,
on that now.
if I don't eat breakfast or lunch, like I feel so hungry at dinner, but then I get full quickly. Like I feel hungry, but I can't eat as much as if I have been eating consistently throughout the whole day.
Yeah. For me, like if it's like a weekend or like if I'm on vacation, I love a good breakfast. But then like during the work weeks and stuff, I typically just crush a protein shake, and I get these little fruit and veggie applesauce packets, but they're like veggies.
Yeah.
So I hit that down and get a little fruit and veggie in the morning. And
Veggie included.
Yeah, and then I'll get
little V8.
And what? Oh, veggie included.
Yeah.
And then I'll get like a little granola bar or something, and I just try and pound that because otherwise I'll be starving all day.
Yep. I need something, otherwise I can't make it.
Well, anyway, going back to the thing about the vacation dollar, or spending.
Sure.
Going back to that, I feel like countries, and this goes back to a little bit like last week's conversation too, like different countries too, like you could buy more in Italy, like you go and you could spend, I feel like, I don't know, I haven't been to Italy, so you tell me, but like you spent, I don't know how much that watch was, and you don't have to tell everybody on the pod, all the listeners, but like you buy that watch and you're like, you buy it and you spend a lot of money on it and you're like, okay, cool, I bought that. That's a nice watch, and you probably couldn't have bought a watch that nice in the United States for the price that you got it in Italy. I don't know that, but I'm just saying.
That is correct. Would have been more expensive here by close to $1,000.
Okay, perfect. So that's an example. And that's probably the case in a lot of European countries. And if that's like a positive in doing international travel.
Did you have to pay tax on it?
So yes, you have to.
But then you submit.
Yeah, but then once you get to the airport, you can fill out documents for them to then reimburse you.
Yeah.
So that was factored into that's why it would have been more expensive here in the US.
There you go. But then other European countries, like I went to Switzerland and everything was outrageous. It's the opposite effect.
And then like in Italy,
I couldn't buy anything.
A pizza was like $7, and it's a whole pizza.
Yeah, I mean, Domino's has a carry out for $7.
But like quality pizza.
I mean,
Domino's is quality pizza.
Quality at scale, maybe.
Yeah, definitely at scale. So was the pizza like wood fire, like with like the mozzarella like on there, and what did it look like?
Wood fire pizza, most of the places, and I mean, just depended what your order. So what like you were describing there is more of like a margarita pizza.
Yeah,
but you could get a pizza that just looks like a normal cheese pizza here.
They have deep dish?
No. No deep dish.
No deep dish. No Chicago style.
You might get run out of there if you ask for a deep dish.
No Chicago style deep dish.
They might have had it. I didn't bother asking though. No ranch dressing.
Like sacrilegious. Yeah, no ranch.
No ranch dressing.
Hey, can I get a side of ranch with this? No St. Louis style thin crust.
No St. Louis style thin crust.
How thick was the crust?
Not very.
Okay. How thick was was it the crust, the outer edge compared to the bless you, to the middle?
So I would compare, a lot of it was very similar to like New Haven style pizza. Whether you've had it or not, or have watched the Dave Portnoy reviews.
Dave. Yep, Dave.
Not a lot of flop on the pizza.
Hey, Dave.
Not a lot of flop on the pizza. The biggest thing that I would say with all of the food, everything just tasted so much more fresh.
Yeah. No preservatives.
Yep. So we have some other things we can get to, but one more question I do want to ask.
Yeah.
What do people do for work in Europe?
They don't.
They get a lot of off time. Lots of holidays.
I think it's...
Which I might have just not been in the right places, but like Rome's a big city, and like not once any of the buildings did I walk past, did I look in and be like, I think there's a business in there.
Well, I do think so. I thought that too, but I think that when I was traveling, but I think that a lot of the places that like you go where there's like touristy areas is not like the like business parts of the city.
I don't know, dude. In France, they like do not work much. Like my uncle broke his arm once and got like 6 months off work for it.
That's insane.
Like I was talking, so we met on our boat day. There was another couple. They were an Australian couple, probably 2 or 3 years younger than us.
Love Australians.
And they were on a 5-week holiday. And I was like, obviously that's a long trip. Like, what are you doing for like a normal vacation? They're like, oh, if we're only doing 3 weeks, we go here. If we're only doing 2, I'm like, so you're just like standard vacation is 2 weeks. We're like, a standard vacation in the US is like a long weekend.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, it is. Australia is like those people, they're known for long ass vacations.
Well, yeah, because they're not close to anything, but like at the same time, like
if they take like months.
If I went to my work and was like, I want to go to Australia, that's far away, so I would like 3 weeks, they'd be like, no.
Well, you could just use all your vacation time.
Yeah.
I have unlimited.
Then yeah, you could just do that.
Yeah, you take unlimited vacation.
But that's like I said, 2 weeks was a long time to be from home. 5 weeks, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Kind of like, no, Adam, I want you to talk about this one because I was excited when I read this. I try my hardest not to look like a tourist, but some people just don't care, and I hate them.
Yeah.
Did you write that?
I did.
Tell me your experience that brought this to mind, because I wholeheartedly agree.
So just the number of... So Rome is where you experience this the most, because like I said, it's incredibly crowded. Yep. And people just, one, don't know how to walk. So they're like walking like not a mob of people, but a big group of people all kind of move in the same direction. Like we'll use around the Trevi Fountain, for example, because that place was just an absolute madhouse. And people are like walking, and then you just have like groups of like 12 just like stopped in the middle where like everyone's walking, just like being completely oblivious to everything. Like selfie sticks everywhere.
Interesting. When that happens, when I'm at like an airport or it's like super crowded or something like that, I'll turn to Alexa and I'll go I formation, and she gets behind me and like grabs onto the back of my shirt, and I just get big and walk through the crowd.
Yeah.
Usually
but
works.
No, just like people having no sense of awareness is just incredibly frustrating.
Yeah, that's bad. I don't like when people just stop in general.
Or just like if
in a big crowd, that's a little bit different. Like I can give you some grace there, but if you're like the typical American tourist and like you're just like doing all the wrong things and making no effort to blend into the culture a little bit, I hate that.
So
I also hate that.
It was incredibly annoying when like, let's just say
it's disrespectful.
You're walking on just like a standard width sidewalk, and they're like a group of 5 walking painfully slow, but all in a line this way. So like we can't pass them. Like maybe
that's the worst.
Like that happened all the time.
Just walk through that then.
It's so frustrating.
Just push them through.
And like, obviously I know I look like a tourist too, because I have like Google Maps up. Like I'm looking at my phone because I have no direction, no idea where I'm going. But like once you get to a main area, we're just kind of like wandering around. Like I do my best to try and like not look like the biggest tourist of all time.
Yeah.
I also thought the Italians were a highly fashionable bunch, and they are not.
Oh, what?
Like I brought only like khaki pants and like button downs to wear to dinner because I was like, oh, people look nice here, and people are rolling in like jorts past their knees and like cutoffs to like the dinners that I think are nice.
Interesting.
Well,
Never would have guessed that.
yeah, I would not be there. I would not expect that.
Again, though, a lot of the cities that we were in, like
Maybe
they could have just been other European tourists, not authentic Italians.
yeah, maybe that's like
Yeah.
fashion forward in France right now, and they think that's appropriate. But
Yeah.
you have to imagine that if you're going to Italy, like you want to dress in like classy but muted, like Italian luxury, not jorts and a tank top ever.
Dude.
Maybe they were from the UK.
It was wild.
Maybe.
I feel like that's something some British people would wear. Jorts.
We could go bun for bun.
Hell of a song. All right. So yeah, no, well, I don't know. That's shocking.
It is shocking. I was not expecting that.
I wasn't either.
Disappointed. But again, like I said, maybe I just didn't actually run across many local Italians.
Sure. Well,
Yeah.
we're glad to have you back. That's for sure.
It's a pleasure to be back.
This next question, what's the next country you want to go to?
See, I don't know because like there's so many places in Italy that I still feel like I would like to go see, but I don't want to go back to Italy before seeing. There's so many places I would want to see before going back to a country for the second time.
I agree with that.
I feel like you gotta go to England next if you're going back to the UK, right?
Or go back to Europe, you mean?
I would love
yeah.
to. Kristen wants to do France.
Yeah. France I've been there. That was cool.
I
didn't think.
Couldn't you do both of those on one trip?
For
Yeah,
sure.
knock them
For
out.
sure.
Knock them out.
Because you would love England for all the soccer, right?
Yeah, I need
She
to
would
go.
love France for all the Francie stuff.
We would have to, because we're pretty much only going to be able to travel during like peak tourist season with her being a teacher, because she's like, I get this time built in, like to be off. We're gonna go in the summer, and soccer ends in like late May, so it'd have to be like right when school ends. We would have to go, so I could actually go see a soccer game.
When I went to France, I did not think that they were as rude. Like they didn't seem like they hated Americans as much as I thought they were going to. Like everyone says they do.
Yeah, everyone says that about Paris. That like people in Paris specifically hate it.
Exactly, and they did. They weren't rude at all. Everyone was friendly.
I don't know. I've seen Portugal looks incredible.
Yeah, Portugal looks cool.
We want to do Greece because we wanted to do Greece and Italy for our honeymoon, but our travel agent was like, if you do both of them, you're getting a half experience in both as opposed to a full experience in either. So we picked Italy. So would love to do Greece. Would love to do, I don't know, somewhere in South America. Argentina looks beautiful.
Yep, I agree.
I would love to do Asia. I want to go to all the continents, so eventually I got to do them all.
Exactly. I agree.
Kristen's like, I want to go on a safari, so like...
Yeah, that's on my bucket list.
South Africa.
That's on my bucket list. Africa, I really want to go on a safari. Like, that is something I really want to do.
Got to do them all, though. There's so many places in the world to see.
Oh, yeah.
Wait,
what you got?
What is the UK?
The UK is England, Northern Ireland, Wales.
But like the actual
Scotland.
term for it, is it just like a government?
The United Kingdom?
Yeah.
It's those four countries. Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, England. They're all under the royal kingdom, like the Queen and who died, but like the royal family is over those places.
So
they're
it's a
all
kingdom,
under,
and those are countries inside of the kingdom.
Yeah, and then like the government, they're all under the same government.
Yeah, that's what I knew that. I didn't understand how England could be a country, but UK
not a part of the EU anymore.
They are not, and they all have their own currency. They don't have the euro. They all are on the pound.
I'm down to pound.
Why not? Why not? Who's to say?
Yeah. I haven't been to the UK. I would like to go there.
Last thing. This will be the last thing, and then we can move on. The funniest thing I think that happened because obviously when people ask where we're from, we're like the United States because we assume people don't know where Missouri is. And then when they're like, oh, where in the United States? Then we're like, Missouri, smack dab in the middle of the country. And they're like, usually most people are like, okay. But these Australians, they're like, oh, we've been to the US. And when they were like, what state are you from? We said Missouri. And he's like, oh, is that close to Utah? I'm like, nope, sure isn't.
Close to Utah.
Not
I was
at
like,
all.
I was like, right in the middle of the country. He's like,
How
oh,
the fuck
so
does that
close
guy
to
know about
Utah. I'm like,
Utah?
no.
Oh man.
And then I was like, the closest big city that we're to is Chicago. And he's like, okay, I've heard of Chicago.
Yeah. That's what I used to tell, that's what I used to tell, as if I've like been there a bunch.
Yeah, that's what I used to tell people.
I've only been to Europe one time. That's what I told people too. It was close to Chicago.
It's like comical. And then one of the wineries we went to, the guy that was like leading our tasting, he's like, "Oh, where are you from?" We said Missouri. He's like, "St. Louis or Kansas City?" I was like, "Oh, this guy actually knows a little bit."
Whoa, yeah. How about that?
Yeah.
How about that? That's
probably from some of the celebrities. John Hamm.
Yeah.
Patrick
Brad
Mahomes.
Pitt,
Probably
Brad
they
Pitt.
probably all eaten there.
Brad Pitt's from Missouri.
At the winery?
Yeah. Probably all been there.
They did have pretty good food at the winery.
Patrick Mahomes was just in Italy also. I saw it on Instagram.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Did he have fun?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if he went to that winery. But maybe he did.
Maybe he didn't.
How about you guys? Next place out of the country you want to travel to?
Chris?
Probably Italy for me.
Would recommend.
Then I really want to go to Japan. And I really want to go to Dubai.
I want to go to Japan too.
Rumor around town is that my sister and Zach are going to go there for their honeymoon.
Japan?
To the homeland?
No, China. China. Wrong.
That was a joke.
But you said no. You said Dubai, and that family we were talking to, because Chris and I were like,
that was a good one.
They're like, isn't it hot here? And we're like, I mean, yeah, it's not too bad. And they were like, yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't even know why they asked us if it was hot, because they're like, how hot does it get in Dubai? And they said it in Celsius. And then I looked it up, and the equivalent to Fahrenheit was 122 degrees.
Yeah, you just add 30 to it.
You don't.
That's not true.
So,
what?
Like, freezing in Celsius is 0.
Yeah.
But like,
so that's 32 degrees.
But like the actual equation, it's like, let me look it up, because I thought it was literally that simple, but it is not.
That's what I've been doing my whole life. It's just adding 32 to it.
No, it's not quite.
You subtract 30, then divide by 2. Is Fahrenheit to Celsius. So Celsius to Fahrenheit is multiply by 2, then add 30? That doesn't seem right.
Hold on.
Oh, wait. That doesn't seem right either.
Here you go.
I don't think it's that simple.
This is the formula. It's 0 degrees Celsius times 9/5 plus 32.
Plus 9/5.
So whatever the degrees Celsius is, you take that times 9/5 and then add 32.
So times 9/5 plus 32.
Why 9/5? I don't know.
Wait, hold on. What is happening?
I remember that now that you say it, but I forgot. But I remember it now that you say it. You don't remember that? Like you don't, that doesn't like ring a bell in your head?
Not at all. I feel like I just plopped into an alternate universe. I swear to God, my whole life, it's just,
Maybe it's because you remember 0 degrees.
Yeah, it's 32.
Is 32 because that's 0 times 9/5 is 0 plus 32. But then anything else is, once you go any other temperature, it doesn't add up perfectly.
So you multiply it by 2 and then add 32?
No, times 9/5. Times 2 is close.
Yeah,
I mean, it's close. Times 2 plus 32 will get you close, but not exactly. Because 10/5 is 2, and 9/5 is
close to 2.
Close to.
Either way, 122 degrees is what it gets up to in Dubai. Can you imagine that?
That's hot. That's hot. I mean, it's hotter than Arizona.
You know what? I literally just saw like a meme on Instagram or something where it was like the UK is complaining about how it's going to be 40 degrees Celsius today, and all the comments were like, that's sunny and 70. Like, what are you talking about?
And it's not.
It's not. They were all wrong. I feel like an idiot. I'm just a
that's
part of the sheep herds. I'm part of the masses.
because that's actually close to 112.
Yeah, 104. Yeah.
Yeah, not 112, but close.
It's pretty hot.
That's pretty hot.
Yeah,
All right.
it is hot.
Well, gosh. Okay. Moving on.
All right, I want to go. I'll go, and then we can move on to place I want to go is Australia or South Africa. All right, we can go on to the next topic.
Beautiful.
New Zealand?
I would love to go to New Zealand.
I love New Zealanders.
But I would go to Australia before I go to New Zealand. But I would
Same.
try
I would
to
do them both. Yeah.
Exactly. Bingo.
There's
Let's get
obviously
together.
Let's do it.
more to do in Australia.
We're going to do both together.
And fall in love, maybe.
Maybe.
If we're lucky.
Little rom-com.
Yep.
Love it.
All right.
You guys are going.
Round it up.
You guys are going. Do I need to buy a PS5?
I think yes.
Chris, do you have a PS5?
I don't have a PS5, and my Xbox is so old, but I do know that
Do you have an Xbox One?
Yes, but it's horrible.
Well, then I think you can still buy the game.
Yeah.
Nah, I
And
can't
for
play
those who
anything on
don't
that
know
thing.
what we're talking about, College Football 25 is out. And you have to have a PS5 or an Xbox One
Yep.
to play.
That's pretty standard, though. There's a lot of games that have been coming out that way for a couple.
But the only video game I literally play is FIFA. And FIFA I can still get for the PS4.
And
This is the first game that I genuinely play that I feel that I want to play, that I need to upgrade the system. And
Yep.
do I upgrade the system to binge play a video game for probably 2 weeks and then get sick of it?
Yep.
Same.
It does look pretty good. It looks pretty cool, and it looks like it's better than most of the sports games that have come out in a while. But it still does look like the typical shit you deal with, like, or even they fumble and they're all standing around. Like, Dave, did you watch that video of Big Cat playing, and he pick six, goes back down, ties it up, and he goes for two at the end and misses that wide open throw?
Yep, I
So
did.
funny.
I saw it.
Just the classic garbage that happens with a video game
Yeah.
where like
That's
or
all
sometimes
still
like your
happening.
receiver's wide open, then like a cornerback like glitches right in front of him and picks it off.
Yep. Like I would get so mad about that.
Or like your receiver is wide open and he keeps running, and instead of putting his hands out, it just like hits him in the back of the head, and you're like,
Yep.
what the hell?
I pressed triangle.
Turn around. No, yeah, it's but the game looks
Cool.
with all that being said, the game looks cool.
Yeah, graphics, cutscenes, all that stuff looks cool.
And they have the names on the college football players for the first time ever, which is a new addition. Like that's never happened before.
So did you guys play NCAA in the past, I'm assuming?
Yes, I did.
Chris, were you never a big sports video game guy?
No, I was just NHL
Okay.
and FIFA.
Okay.
Always.
Yeah.
Because like when you first like
great.
I chilled
Yeah.
so hard.
when you like
It's
first
awesome.
turn on the game and like make your profile, you had the ability to either use numbers or like made up names. Did you pick numbers over like made up names?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yes, I picked the number. So
I was always numbers.
I didn't
as
want to
well.
have made up names. Like that's ridiculous.
Wait, what?
So like you're wearing a Justin Jefferson jersey right now. So at LSU, before they could obviously pay, the reason they stopped making the games because college athletes were like, you're using us, but we're not making any money. So you could either pick, I think he was number 3. No, Odell was number 3. Either way,
Odell was number 3. Yeah.
let's say he was number 18 at LSU. It could have no name on the back and just be number 18 at LSU, which you know is Justin Jefferson. Or you could pick for all of the game to just auto-generate names. So his name could be like Bobby Bracken's number 18, but you know it's
hell
Justin
yeah.
Jefferson.
Let's go, Bobby.
But it was Justin Jefferson.
Yep.
That's funny.
With a different name. And I never did that. I was like, that's stupid.
It was dumb.
And so I always did the numbers. But but that's what I think makes this so much better is now it actually is the real people.
Which really genuinely adds nothing to the game because you knew who it was all along. Now it just says the person's name.
But it does add a little bit.
It doesn't.
It does just a little bit.
Wait, so are you telling me all the players that have their names on there are getting a little chunk?
Yeah.
They're getting a little piece of the pie?
Except Arch. Except Arch Manning.
How deep does it go? Is it just all first string players? Or we got some like, bench players on there getting like $12 a month?
Everybody.
Yeah, I'm sure the payout is not a lot.
Everybody's getting the same too.
No way, really?
Yeah.
Shut up, Dave.
That's why Arch Manning didn't approve his name to be on there, so he's not
originally. He is now.
How much are they getting?
Yeah. I'm sure it's not a lot. Yeah, I saw that on social media that he was like just said that he would be in the game. He's like,
oh, good. Good for him. I'm glad.
Are college players being paid for NCAA?
Watch, you're gonna look it up and I'm wrong.
2025.
But I heard that they were all, because I was just wrong about Arch Manning, but I heard they were all getting the same amount. Tell us, what does it say? I can't imagine it's a lot.
It's just talking about genuine, like not the video game.
Genuine, not the video game?
It's just talking about like in general. Oh. It's like each school has this much money to distribute across its athletes.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know. But I know for a fact that everybody's included. So backups and small schools.
Hold on, I might have this shit. I might have this.
Small schools.
12,000 Reddit for the win here. 12,300 players opted into EA College Football 25 at a rate of $600 per person. This means the players in total cost EA $7.3 million.
There it is.
And they also had to pay the colleges. Total spent on colleges was $5.3 million because Tier 1 schools got 1.2, Tier 2 schools got 2.4, and Tier 3 got 1.0.
So 1.
Tier 4 got what? Why did Tier 2 get more money? Oh, because there's 26 teams in the Tier 2 ranking.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But then, like, I would assume that probably Quinn Ewers, Travis Hunter, and I don't know his name, but the cornerback for Michigan that are on the front of the game. Like, I feel like they probably got more. A little bit more.
They should. They're on the front of the game.
It also, like, I understand that in the grand, like, when you add up all the numbers, like, what'd you just say the total payout there was for all of the players, Chris, combined?
7.3 million.
7.3 million, but this next comment says, according to a Bleacher Report article, EA spent about $40 million on player rights.
Wow.
So 7 plus 3, that's only 10. So they must have paid some of the bigger names extra bonus money too.
They had to have.
But either way, it really makes you think, why were they not doing this all along?
Well,
like,
I mean,
yeah,
I know it was illegal, but
it does say just to break even, the game they have to price the game at $70, and it takes 181,000 sales. That seems very easy to do.
Very easy.
They did it already, didn't they? Didn't they have 125,000 people playing on the first night of pre-sales?
I was gonna say the game's technically not even out yet, like unless you bought the early access.
Yeah, I think they had over that number.
I've always wondered what it would be like to be like the tech guy that's in charge of like the servers and shit, like the day before launch or the day of launch, and you're just like, fuck. Like
the PlayStation Network's down.
You're just so nervous, but there's nothing you can do, and so you're just like, Oh God.
Yep.
Here they come.
Hey, so on GameSpot.com, I don't know how reliable that is.
Checks out.
700,000 concurrent players during the early access, using early access. So there
700,000?
700,000 people were playing concurrently during early access before the game's even officially gone on sale.
God.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I do love in this. It seems as if based on the interwebs, the culture for this video game is people are playing as crappy schools and trying to make them good, as opposed to like when you were a kid being like, I'm gonna play just as the best team and just ruin everyone.
Yep, exactly. I mean, I think that's what people are. Yeah, I think that's what kind of makes it fun. And like on TikTok, I saw people who was like, "Oh, I'm going to take Kennesaw State from nothing all the way to the national championship." And it's like, that's awesome.
What would be your starter school?
Miami, Ohio.
Okay.
I thought about it. Can you tell?
Miami of Ohio, good choice. Good choice.
Yeah. Chris?
I'd probably take like JMU.
James Madison. Oh, yes. I should have picked them. They were my go-to betting school. Always bet James Madison.
Always bet JMU.
Always. Unbelievable athleticism out of James Madison.
I might bring UConn football some glory.
Yep. Great pick. Great pick.
Tulsa could be a good pick.
Tulsa. Great pick.
They're a bad football program.
Yep. Smallest Division I school out there.
I don't know. I'm really struggling on if I want to buy this game. Because like I said, it's more so like I feel like I'd buy it, I'd play it a lot for maybe a month, and then I'd probably stop. And is it worth it?
It's worth it at the $70. I forgot about buying the system.
Correct. For $450. So really you're looking at a $520 investment for 1 month of a video game, probably.
Yeah, I mean, you would play the system.
How many hours do you think you're putting in? 30 total hours, maybe?
You would use the system
maybe
for
60.
other games, but
I could
you don't need
hours. I mean, yeah, then obviously I would start buying FIFA for the PS5, but like
yeah. But you don't need
some cost at that point.
Yeah.
I just go through video game phases where I get like addicted for a short amount of time, and then I like until I bought this last FIFA, like I bought 24, I think I hadn't probably touched my system for probably like 14 months.
I haven't touched mine in a while.
I haven't touched mine ever.
You're a liar. You touched yours in the last. When's the last time you touched yours?
This morning in the shower, honestly.
I knew it.
Do you PC game? Because I knew there was a stint there where you were a bit on the COD.
No, I used to game. I used to game hard. I beat Elden Ring, which is a long game.
Mm-hmm.
Skyrim used to get into that back.
Did you Legacy? Did you Hogwarts Legacy?
I did Hogwarts Legacy. There was a time I beat that in like 3 days.
Yeah, that was a quick game from what I heard.
Since this podcast has started, you gamed because we talked about it.
Maybe.
Yeah, we did because you were wanting to game after we got done recording. It was I think COD.
When you found out that Dave hit the sticks a little bit, but
then we never played.
I know we never played because I haven't played in months.
Yeah, I haven't played anything in a while. Shadow of the Erd Tree came out, and I was tempted, but I just don't have the time to do it. Honestly, I legitimately don't have the time to do it. But there was a time I was up like a +6 handicap on PGA Tour. Like I was just winning tournaments left and right.
Yeah. Dude, PGA Tour on the PS4, I got pretty good at that. I would create real golfers that weren't on the game.
I never understood why there aren't more golfers in that game.
I don't get it. I don't get it at all. But yeah, I would create them, try to make my people tried to make my guy to look like the real golfer. Never could get it. And then,
do you remember? I think 2K did it. I don't know if all of the games did it, but you could like import a picture of yourself and it would make your character for you to look like you, and it was horrible.
I do not
Like
remember that.
it would
I
not
think
work
they used to
well
do that
at
for like
all.
the Wii or something.
yeah, the Wii.
The Wii, I always respected them for staying true to who they were. They didn't care about the graphics. They just wanted a fun gameplay.
There was what was the little tune? How did the tune go?
Wii Sports or Wii Sports Resort?
Wii Sports.
I liked both.
I was a fan of Sports Resort.
Both. I liked both.
Did you ever have the it was like the fitness pad?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Listen, I had everything growing up.
One of my favorites was the
humble brag.
What is the skiing event? I think it's really just like big air skiing where they literally like hit the ramp and they're just doing that one on Wii Sports on the little thing was funny because you just
I don't think I ever did that one.
It was a good one. Would recommend.
I liked bowling. I liked tennis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ping pong, which was pretty much tennis.
I wasn't great at baseball.
Yeah, baseball was hard.
I liked it though.
Golf.
It's all good.
Yeah, exactly. It was good.
All right. Final topic to really bring us home. We're gonna get deep into it here.
We had. I mean, everybody knew we had to get to this topic.
Yep.
How could we not get to this topic?
Who wants to lay the groundwork?
Chris, you know. Chris.
Dave.
Chris.
Dave, you lay it.
Yeah, because you, my friend, have done the research. So, this past week, our nation was shook to its core.
It was
shook to its core as former President Donald Trump was shot at by there was an attempted assassination, and a bullet grazed his ear and took off the top of his ear, allegedly, or something took off the top of his ear. And Chris will dive in a little bit on that as to what took off the top of his ear. Was it a bullet? Was it something else?
Wait, what?
What do you think it was, Chris? Do you think it was a bullet? I've seen rumors on the internet that it was a fragment of something else. What do you think it was?
Wait, hold on. What?
Yeah.
I've not even seen that yet.
Yeah.
It was a bullet. I think it was a bullet.
You think it was a bullet? So, okay, so here's what. So, all right, so everybody in the world knows that Donald Trump got shot at. All right, so there's a guy I work with that thinks that it wasn't the bullet that hit him in the ear, that it was the what are those glass things that they put up when a president speaks? What are those things called? A lectern? Or
podium?
Not the podium. The glass things that like block them on either side. Like, have you ever seen those? They put them like
sure.
You know what I'm talking about?
I've seen them. I've seen it for like the inauguration.
Yeah, and they have them up right now at the RNC also for all.
Yeah, but they
speakers.
did not have those up there at the.
I think they did. They had them on either side. I've seen the videos. Well, you've seen the videos. I know you have.
What are you talking about? No, I have not seen that at all.
Let me see if I can see a picture. Let me see if I can find a picture.
Because the picture of the guy.
The picture of
on
the
guy. Stage. No, there's definitely those were. I don't think those were on the stage. I've seen the whole stage. It's a tiny ass little stage.
Okay, if they're not up there, well, a guy that I work with thinks that it was a fragment of something else that got him in the ear.
Why? All right. Well, this guy sucks. What research has he done?
I don't know.
Cite your sources.
Not my sources, because I think it was the bullet. I think it was. The bullet too. I also think it was the bullet. I'm just raising a.
There's just so many interesting things going on.
What distance was the shot fired?
140 yards.
140 yards.
So
a pitching wedge, honestly, for me nowadays.
9-iron for me.
Yeah, I'm smoothing a 9 instead of muscling up a pitching wedge.
I'm smoothing a pitching wedge like 145 now.
I love that for you.
It's wild, but
all right,
that's another subject. Don't get me
topic for another day. Topic for another day.
So So how did he
what
get
was
to that point?
the weapon used for the shot?
22 caliber hunting rifle. Stock. Every household in America has probably got one of these kicking around somewhere.
So
So
the fact that he was even able to get to that location is a major issue. Like, why was he even there?
Okay, so this is something that I've been looking into and I have not been able to verify yet. But, so disclaimer, I don't know if this is accurate information or not. I'm going to try and show you this picture. This is footage of the building that he was on the roof of. Do you notice anything in that picture?
Is this the whole sloped roof theory?
No. Hold on. See if right behind the tree in the crack.
Yeah, there's like a walkway through there.
It's a ladder.
Oh, a ladder. Yeah, he walked up the ladder.
No, there's just a random ladder sitting there. Can you see it at all?
Oh,
yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I see it.
Other people are saying he scaled an AC unit, but this image was taken that same week, that same day, and there's just that ladder there. How did that ladder get there?
I don't know.
There's a lot of questions about it.
There's so many questions. This is what I said to Dave. I said, if you would have asked me before that happened, I would have said it's almost impossible to assassinate the president nowadays.
Yep.
That's truthfully what I just thought. Like, I don't know if that's just me being, I don't know if things have changed. I don't know if I've been naive. I don't know if the new director has loosened things up or what, but
one, she's getting a lot of heat.
How do you? Well,
she's getting a whole lot of heat.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so. I don't think she was actually there. The director. I don't think she was there. Was she?
No, she wasn't there.
But her initiative was to hire like a lot more women, and those women that were there had no business. I just don't think they had any business being there. I just don't think they were qualified the way they handled it. Like, no, in an emergency situation like that, they just didn't know what to do. You could tell they were kind of like, what do we do? What do I do? Like, they
there was a whole lot of looking around.
Yeah, a whole lot of looking around. I just don't understand. 140 yards away, a clear shot at the president. How's that roof not? Why isn't there a sniper on that roof?
That's what I want to know. Like, at most of these events, they have people posted up on all, especially in a field like that, when someone's speaking and there's not many buildings around. Usually there's people on each roof looking over the crowd.
Yeah, like, how is nobody seeing this guy?
Well, there apparently was. There's apparently people
19 minutes. 19 minutes from first report to the police to the time the first shot was fired. So,
and no one did
apparently
it.
They were looking for it. So the big thing that I think is a missed here a lot, though, is that this is not just the Secret Service. He's not the president, so he doesn't get the full Secret Service detail that's doing everything. It's a collaboration with local SWAT, local PD. So that sniper was local law enforcement. So to his point, I've seen other, like, well-established operators and like military personnel talk about some of this stuff, and they're like, you would be amazed at how chaotic it gets there because you have 6 different law enforcement agencies trying to work together. They're on different channels, they're on different radios. He was like, we were in a situation once where they work in like ranges, and so they'll say like your scan zone is 140 to 300 yards, and then there's another sniper that's scanning 600 to 800 yards beyond that. So like they're like long distance threats. And this guy was talking about how one time there was a miscommunication where the support sniper saw the longer distance sniper set up and was like, I don't know, this guy wasn't like on any of the maps that I was given or any of the intel briefs, like, and he almost shot him because he just didn't have the right information, and the communication channels were a little fuzzy. So I say all that because the video of that sniper is very damning, where he's looking down the barrel and then he looks out off the barrel and looks up and then goes back down to his barrel. That just goes against everything I've ever thought about sniper training. It's like you never take your eye out of the scope if you're a sniper, especially if you have a target in range. And it seemed like he shot almost immediately after, so he had to have known the general vicinity. I just don't think you have a spotter there for you to do that. You stay on your scope at all times. That's just what I learned from Chris Kyle. I don't know. There's so many questions to it. I think there was I mean, I even saw some wind charts come out that there was gust of wind right at the exact time that the shot was fired that would be pushing it in the direction that made it miss his head.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of factors that went into it. I mean, he turned his head right at the. Have you seen that video?
Yeah.
Like that broke it down to where right when he turned his head is what like.
I sent that to you.
Oh, yeah,
I like slowed it down, and he was like moving his head.
You're right. You did.
I was like, look at this right last moment. I think the photos from it are unbelievable. There's weird people standing in the background, behaving very weirdly.
Yeah, there's that woman that's behind it. Like,
and the guy is kind of weird too about it, and he's like kind of well known. What's his name? Jason?
Oh, the guy with the long hair and
Humak or something like that.
Yeah,
I forgot his name. What his name is? Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
But there's that woman that's down like bottom right corner where she
doesn't react, and then she kind of smiles and then looks down at your phone. But to that point, like. That's not concrete evidence of anything for me. That's just people react very differently in emergency situations. She could have thought it was a joke. She could have thought it was a firecracker. Didn't realize it takes longer for the levity of some things to sink in with people. So
yeah, that
was weird. So there was 3 shots fired first. So I think that kid shot off 3 shots. Now, the one question I have is where the heck did this photo come from? Have you guys seen this photo of him?
Yeah. So I've seen that, and I've seen like reports that was taken by
Thomas Matthew Crooks, taken by Beaver County Emergency Service Unit officer.
Yeah, so that's what I saw. So that was
how the hell did he get that photo? How? Doing what?
So that was what I read was that a local officer took that picture and said, this guy is suspicious, and sent it around and was like, we got to keep an eye on this guy.
Took it from where?
Like 30 minutes before.
But that's like a steep downward angle. Where is this kid? Like it almost looks like it's a zoomed in drone image or something.
No, I know. I don't know any of that information. But what I read was that was taken by local law enforcement saying that he was suspicious like 30 minutes before the shooting.
Mini golf. Good thing they got that labeled on the map.
So funny.
Mini golf. Yeah.
It's just so okay. And then, this will be the last thing I say on it. So put on your conspiracy hats even further here.
We haven't even talked any conspiracy. This has all just been kind of facts you're laying out right now.
Oh, well, kind of, I guess. Okay, just questions. I don't want to but now there's this video, and this is reaching at best, but there's this very grainy video of the water tower in the background.
Mm-hmm.
It's right here if you can kind of see it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the bottom of it. It shows the photo from before. It keeps like a constant photo of what it looks like. And then it shows the video next to it. And it's completely white before. And then right before the shots go off, there's a big black blob. It's super far away. It's super grainy, so you can't see much. But some black thing appears on this water tower. Don't know.
What do you think that would be?
Don't know, but it's
like, what's the what do you think the implication of that is? Like, what is
possible
that?
Second shooter.
Oh, interesting. I don't know.
Possible, maybe they set up that kid. Who knows? So if we're talking the real conspiracy, it almost worked out so perfectly for Donald Trump that you want to believe that like the conservatives, the right planned this and like did it on purpose.
That's obviously the big conspiracy, is that like it was almost such a clear shot that like people are like, how did he miss? And then, like you said, the rise in popularity which he was not necessarily rise in popularity, but I guess it is a little
Definitely
bit. Just,
a rise in popularity. Definite.
Just
well,
like
it's almost been a rise in support, not rise in popularity.
Support.
I don't know. I've seen
know.
a lot of shirts and stuff selling on TikTok. I don't know. We'll see.
It's just the human element in me, like, that I can't believe again that anyone, like, people would go to this length for that, but it's crazy.
Well, I mean, I've seen, and I told Chris this. I mean, there's conspiracy. Both sides are
Both sides for sure.
Yeah,
and I think it's more realistic that it was the other side trying to actually assassinate him.
Like, that conspiracy is the opposite side of it, and like that's the other side. So like, you have the conspiracy that because it's the Secret Service is controlled currently, I guess you could say, by people who were put in place by the current administration. So if there was a lapse in the protection for Donald Trump and a setup to assassinate him, then that was done by individuals who were put in place by Joe Biden's administration. So that
and because the kid was in the BlackRock commercial,
so
the idea was like that, that they radicalized him.
And I don't believe that.
I was going to say, I feel like the biggest argument to that is just easy to kind of squash that one is if like they're going to go through all of this trouble, like you're going to get a sniper that isn't going to hit his ear.
Yeah, but they can't really do that because if you have some super well-trained ex-military Pat, like then they know 100% that it was for sure an organized thing. Whereas if you have some kid who donated $15 to the Republican Party 3 years ago and just happens to have,
like I definitely for sure, but at the same, like you're putting a lot, if it is something that was planned by the Democratic Party, you're putting a lot of eggs in a basket that like it has to go perfectly for it to happen the way we need it to happen. Like I feel like you're having a little bit more odds in your favor.
The kid was on the shooting team. He was a member at his local shooting range. It's like as good as you can get for someone who doesn't look super suspicious that they're like obviously coordinated.
Yeah. Either way, I don't think that that's the case.
No, I don't either.
But I think that that's the counter conspiracy theory. So you have the conspiracy theory that it was like fake and a like, I don't know, kind of a setup. Staged. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. That it was staged. And then you have the other theory that it was an inside job and a lapse by the security team to try to get him assassinated. And that's the other.
Could you imagine if he got assassinated? Like how wild that would be?
It wouldn't have been good.
Like you said, Chris, like I was under the impression that it was next to impossible.
Sure.
Yeah.
And this seemed like, I feel like even if
easy.
Even if
like anybody could do that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like I feel like even if you just had like your local police force in charge, like they're seeing some of these things and they're like, even though I know you said they didn't have like the full Secret Service, but like they still have a level of trained officer that is so far superior to the standard police officer. Like how is it that easy?
There's an advanced team and a Secret Service team that should be working together, that they like blanket the whole area. They check every single rooftop with a vantage point. Like that's just what I assume. I don't know. And like the most likely answer to exactly what happened, because no matter what, it is sketchy that it lasted for so long and they couldn't find this guy. But that's the one thing that sticks out. But everything else I can explain away. It was a place kind of in Pennsylvania, farmland they just didn't expect something like that to happen there. We have to remember it is a past president. He's not the current president. He's a candidate, which you'd think still gets a lot of attention, but I think it was that. I think the administration was, doesn't that they don't love Trump for sure. That Secret Service administration does not love Trump for sure. Mm-hmm. So they probably aren't giving them, my 100% or whatever. They're not going the extra step to double check things and stuff like that. And somehow this kid just slipped through the cracks, and there was a ton of communication, and they couldn't find this guy, and there was a tree blocking the sniper on the roof, and there wasn't enough other snipers that were trained in the area or something like that that were qualified to do the event, and that's what happened. That's most likely the answer, but I could just be a sheeple.
Yeah, which is a major issue that they allowed that to happen, but it's at the end of the day.
Can you believe they actually played the 50 Cent song at the RNC when he was walking in?
Tonight?
No, the first night.
The first night?
Isn't
he? There's been rumors that he was going to perform tonight when he actually came in to do his speech.
Have we seen him without a patch? Has anybody seen him without the bandage on his ear yet?
I don't think so.
I'm so interested to see what it looks like. I have a feeling that it's just like the tiniest little scrape ever.
I know. I don't know. I haven't.
Like, I sent you that picture, and maybe there's that chunk that's like maybe like a half an inch right here that got taken off, but really it just grazed him. Like, if that thing hits you right there in the ear, that's blasting off half your ear.
That's what I was getting at with the questions about the distance and what gun was used. Cause like, I feel like it was such a little amount of blood for like where it hit him that like, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, if you're using that strong of a weapon, like how is more ear not gone?
I mean, I gotta start to check myself a little bit, because immediately, because there was so little blood, I was like, that's a blood pellet. Like, that's what actors use. They crunch that, and then or you can smash it on yourself, and he like popped that on himself, and they're just faking the whole thing. Like,
yeah,
that's definitely not what happened, but I'm so interested to see his ear. I want to see what it looks like so bad.
How much increased security does Biden have now?
Oh,
he's dying.
Yeah, well, he
might die.
by the time
kills old people.
By the time we do this, record next week's episode, he will no longer be running for president.
I mean, either way, though,
I'm calling it now.
The question that still got asked, like, what do you think the increase to his security is?
Oh, well, they said it was way up.
Like, everything's way up.
Both
they were.
Oh, for sure.
They were,
but like
way up.
In theory, like if you're thinking in the way that I'm sure they're thinking, like you would expect a retaliation.
No.
No.
Dumb. Why? For what purpose? What do you gain out of that?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
They already got the election in the bag.
I'm not saying. Well, you're answering that as if you're thinking that it was a planned attack by the other. Like there are so many people that are so radically each direction. Like, you don't think that there's someone in the middle of like the South that's so pro Donald Trump that now doesn't want to try and kill Joe Biden.
No, because I don't know. I think the people have to be radicalized by their candidate. Like, they're never just going to go.
Oh, I think there are very irrational people in this world.
Oh, 100%.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, January 6th doesn't happen without Trump saying, get up in there. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. And so what Chris is saying is that people are radicalized by what he just said was people are radicalized by their candidate. And since this has happened, Donald's taken the opposite approach.
Exactly.
Of like, now he's being all like, let's unify and everyone calm down. And he's like,
because he knows he's won, and anything that the Republicans do now will take away from the effect that they gained from what happened.
So he's telling everyone to pretty much chill.
Then from that logic, what did this kid take from Joe Biden that made him want to try and kill Donald Trump? from the logic you're saying that you're radicalized behind your opponent.
Joe
Biden had some bad comments like the week before about it.
His tweet,
like, go get him, and like
he said, it's time to put Donald Trump in a bullseye.
Yeah,
that's pretty rough.
And it was deleted the day after.
I know. And then
That's
Lester Holt went after him, but Joe Biden's like, I didn't say to put him in the crosshairs, and Lester Holt said, I didn't say that you said put him in the crosshairs, and then he said, I regret, and then he said, I regret saying put him in the bullseye.
It's pretty tough.
Yeah.
And there were some other bad ones that, that whole week kind of before. So listen, I don't think they mean it directly, but I do think that I should have phrased it differently. Because Trump's rhetoric has been so peaceful, like don't mess this up almost, his base and even his craziest supporters will listen to that.
That's fair.
100%. Because if there's anything you can say about these crazy people is they listen to what the guy says and they believe it, right?
Yeah.
So
it's a fair point.
No, it's crazy though.
Do you think there is a Democrat so crazy that's like we're losing, so they have to take out Joe Biden?
Try again.
No, that the Democrats have to take out their own candidate to try and get people behind the Democrats.
I don't think you can rise up a candidate that quickly.
When you say take out, like, do you mean like him step down, or like you mean take out?
Like get someone with COVID and you strategically plant him into an event that Joe Biden's at. Joe Biden gets COVID. He's an old man.
Yeah, because him just leaving, like Joe Biden just, how you said you predict by this time next week he will not be the Democratic candidate. Like that won't do what this did for Donald Trump for the Democrats.
Well, I don't think he's gonna actually.
I don't know if he'll make the rest of the year.
I don't think he's gonna die.
No, but
he might. For the record.
No,
that cough that he's got.
I understand that you don't think he's going to die. You think that he is going to take himself out of.
Yes.
But I don't think there is a single Democratic candidate that could just step in and come anywhere close to competing.
Think either side. I think it's too late to rise up a candidate that quickly.
But like everything, like I've seen on social media, people are like, Joe Biden needs to come out as bisexual to like gain like that whole like, because now you have all of the people like honestly probably like Democrat or Republican
that's his
that
base,
are just
though.
like so pro.
Yeah. He's already got the bisexual.
Yeah, he's already got those.
They're just like, he needs to do something equally as crazy. He needs to come out.
A cowboy.
Yeah.
Or a gun owner.
But what I was getting at is like, do you think that because again, very irrational human beings, do you think that there's someone on that side like, we need to do that for our presidential candidate?
Oh, well, yeah, there's irrational human beings, but I don't think...
Like how Chris was saying that like the Republicans wouldn't do that because that would take away everything that that this has built up for them.
I don't think it would have...
we need to match it.
I don't think it would have the same effect.
Yeah, you're saying they need to go out and recreate a failed assassination attempt?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, because I don't think Biden would have the same pizzazz that Donald had.
Well, he barely moves either, so he wouldn't have moved his head.
I don't think he would stand up and have a fist pump on the way to the van either, or the SUV.
He would die from the Secret Service tackle.
From falling down.
Get down!
You would need to hit his help I've fallen and can't get up button.
His cough really is bad. And if he just got COVID too, he might be struggling right now.
Once again, for the record, I don't think he's going to die.
No, and I didn't take it as if you said he was going to die.
I'm not responding to you. I'm responding to Chris keeps saying over and over again that he's going to die by the end.
Listen, I don't have anything against him. I thought he was a great guy. I still think he's a great guy. I just think he's too old for the job. Like, it's just, you have to know. You got to know when to hold them, and you got to know when to fold them here, pal.
I am not saying that either. I agree with that 100%. I am just saying he's
what
not
are you saying?
He's not going to be the presidential candidate for the Democratic Party.
Because
he's going to step down
into the ground.
And I'm also seeing he's not going to endorse Kamala Harris.
Oh,
That's what I'm seeing.
I don't know what are we at with time right now.
Oh, a long time, like an hour and 30 minutes. So
Didn't you start your stopwatch?
It turned off somehow throughout that time.
We have gone really long. So
yeah, we're
we
deep into it.
Well, we started late. Oh no, I didn't.
Yeah,
oh no. Wait, hold on.
It doesn't. I mean, we have gotten plenty of time in. We can go ahead and wrap it up.
Alrighty, sounds good.
We got some good content in.
Yep. So
welcome back to America, Adam.
Yep, politics.
Yeah, honestly, welcome back.
I'm going back. I don't like it here.
There you go. All right.
Oh, geez. As always, that's nightly nonsense, folks.
I'm a beautiful butterfly.
Auf Wiedersehen. I had to say it for you.